Welcome to the Personal Project Podcast. This is a personal development podcast where I, katyarrington, discuss my personal project, me. I'm an artist and life coach, and I struggled with anxiety, depression, insecurities, self-loathing, procrastination, and so much more. This podcast is my weekly update on what I'm doing to create a better life for myself. Welcome, guys, to episode 20. Holy crap. Thank you so much for clicking on this YouTube video, visual podcast thing, and I'm really grateful that you're here listening to me, but holy shit, I made it to episode 20! Which is insane to me because I used to be so freaking inconsistent. And so I'm gonna pat myself on the back here for a little bit because yeah, episode 20. I didn't even imagine myself. I was so scared. I remember making the first one and I was so scared that I wasn't gonna go past episode 3 because yep, that's what I did in the past, totally. That like I would join something like Inktober or something else and whatever drawing challenge, mermaid, and only got to like the third day and then totally faltered. So this is quite nice. This is this is a pretty good feeling. Okay, guys, so as you know, some of you anyway, that I have a procrastination challenge event from November 1st to November 7th that I am hosting. Essentially what it is that it's 7 days in a row where I'm going to go live on Instagram and I'm going to teach like one aspect of procrastination, the procrastination problem on each day, and then I'll have an exercise for you to do. So it's a mind challenge, not a drawing challenge. What I want really is I didn't want to just do like don't procrastinate for 7 days type of challenge because I think that's just a band-aid. I don't think that that's going to give really lasting change. Like I really wanted to teach something and I wanted it to be live because then, I don't know, I feel like then people like feel like they have to show, not have to, but you know what I mean? Like it's like a limited amount of time. I'll record it, but I don't really know what I'm going to do with it yet. I don't plan on posting it yet, I don't have any plans. I just know that I'm going to go live and it's only going to be saved for that day. So if you want to find out what's going on, like come join it. It's going to be a different topic on each day, but I don't think it would be confusing if you like missed one day. Like you'll just learn another aspect of procrastination. I think anything that you learn about it is going to be useful and it's just going to benefit overall. So that is what the procrastination challenge is. It's essentially 7 days. Join me, do the workbook, do the exercises so that you can actually understand your procrastination and find the cause of it rather than just doing like, a band-aid of like, no, don't do it for 7 days. Yeah. So that is what I'm doing and I'm really excited about it. And on top of that, just to, have some fun with it, I am moving to Bali exactly at that time. And so I have people like voting on what I'm going to do on those 7 days. I just thought that would be really fun. I think that could make it just like exciting for me to see, like, I think it would just help me anyway, like get to Bali and kind of explore it. It was like a good reason to explore it. And I thought it would be fun for you as well. Okay. But here's the thing, guys. Yes, I am really excited. Like that is not a lie in any form because like the Bali thing, the procrastination stuff, I love talking about that. But here's the thing. I'm fucking scared, honestly. Okay? Like I really am. And it doesn't come naturally to me at all to believe in myself. Okay? It's extremely awkward. My brain isn't used to it. Like I thought of this idea only a few days ago and I was like, I wanted to go for it. I wanted to do things that scared me. But yeah, my brain wants to go down like the negatives, right? And want to tell me all the possible worst case scenarios. And it's really weird. And so what this is about really is like last night I was not doing so well. I released and announced all of this on Sunday for me, which is Saturday night for many of you, those in the US. And okay, I was nervous as fuck, y'all. Like I was really scared. I was really, really scared. But I know I'm gonna do it. No matter what, I know I'm gonna do it. But like I'm having a lot of emotions, right? Lots and lots of emotions that I'm dealing with, and I feel pretty tired from it. Like I'm not tired from the work I've done because I gave myself plenty of time and I gave myself free time. Like I'm very meticulous with my schedule where I plan all of my free time first so that I make sure I'm properly rested and properly rejuvenated. But I sometimes end up using those free times not in the best way, not in the most self-caring and most, rejuvenating way. Like I don't actually sometimes feel more refreshed after them. It depends. So this is awkward for my brain, right? Like I want to tell myself like things are going to be great, this is going to be fun, but it is awkward to believe in myself. And change is seriously not easy. Right? Like I have for the longest time totally believed that I just have no belief in myself, that I didn't like myself. And these beliefs, right? Like the reason they're beliefs is that it's a thought that we most likely got since we were children. It's a thought that we kept thinking over and over. And our brains are designed to be efficient. Like we are not hardwired to change. So we are designed to be efficient and to use as little energy as possible because our bodies and our brains wants to use energy for the important things, right? Like running away from a lion. So we have this thought that we've been thinking over and over again, and then our brain was just, okay, let's just turn it into a belief. Like it's an automatic thought that we're just always going to believe, and it's like totally true, and it's like a fact in our mind. So for the longest time, and I still, of course, I'm working on this too, that like I like had this belief that I just didn't think that I can do good things or awesome things. And so that is just very efficient. That's a very efficient belief in my brain. And change requires a lot of effort, right? Like change is uncomfortable. I mean, if you just imagine ourselves like growing up, right, from the ages of like 12 to 18, like that was such a cocktail of emotions and discomfort. Change is really, really not comfortable. And so also like, I had this same thing. Well, from the clients that I've talked to so far, from the people who's worked with me and talked to me on the phone, one of their biggest fear is not changing. And I had this exact same fear. Before I hired my coach, I, told her the same thing. I'm just so scared that like this is not going to work. Like I'm scared that there's just something fundamentally wrong with me, that no matter what I do, no matter what I like all the exercises or whatever I do, that this is just not gonna work for me. I'm somehow broken. And it's because I've been looking at the past and I've tried to change, right? Like I quit my job to be happy. I decided to go travel to be happy. I've broken up with like 2 boyfriends at that time to be happier. I moved countries, I moved states, like all of this stuff that I was trying to do to be happier, and I hadn't changed. So I had this fear that I never will. And like the problem with that though, right, is that if we keep looking to the past for evidence of whether we can do something or not, then we're always going to recreate the past. And like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like I'm in that process of change right now where I'm working on my mind all the fucking time. I mean, in the morning, every day, but I'm very aware. I do my best to be very aware of my mind, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like it is hard. It's really hard. It's awkward. And also it's hard because there's so many things in our world that make it very easy not to change, right? Like there's so much pleasure in not changing. So like we have so many things like Facebook, Instagram, video games, sugary foods, porn, Like all of these things that like we completely concentrated, right? Like things that we don't find in the natural world. And then we take it and then we totally concentrate it and we package it and we sell it. And then whenever we partake in these things, right? Like, for example, with sugar, like when we eat something sugary, it gives our brains this gigantic dopamine rush. And dopamine is the pleasure hormone in our brain. And it feels amazing, like whenever we do these things. And in the past, like 2 million years ago, that works for us because one, we didn't have sugary stuff like so concentrated, but it would give us that dopamine rush and then it would force us to leave the cave to search for food, all that kind of stuff. But now it's such an abundance of that, and it's even concentrated at a higher level that it's like a chemical explosion in our mind of pleasure. And so it totally tricks our brains into believing that these things are so much more important than they really are. So there's a lot of money, right, being made in that. And there's a lot of advertising. Like we are bombarded every day with like, here are things that will make you happy. Like, you know, you don't have to do anything, but eat this, watch this, do this, and you're going to be happy. And for me last night, because I was feeling pretty nervous and I was feeling pretty scared just about all of this stuff. And so for me last night, like the thing that was giving me this dopamine pleasure rush was YouTube drama videos. Like, you know, those channels that are all about YouTube drama and like people criticizing other people. And yeah, it was just like, you know, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Like if you have been seeing like this Shane Dawson and Jake Paul stuff, and that can totally go down rabbit holes. And like, I don't actually care. I don't actually care about any of this stuff. But it just, our brains, right? Like we get really addicted to the dopamine rush of feeling like, ooh, like what's the latest goss? That's totally a form of a concentrated thing, right? That gives us this dopamine rush. So yeah, like, you know, I followed my intuition when it comes to pursuing doing this event, because I was like, oh my God, I feel like I really got a handle of procrastination. I really want to help other people. And I think this will be really fun to do it live. We'll do it on the beach. Oh my God, it'll be in Bali. Yeah. And so I did it. But I'm still totally scared shitless. So if anyone must think that I'm like happy all the time, that I'm like totally confident and I know what the hell I'm doing, you're wrong. Like I'm totally working on it, and I feel like I've made such huge strides, and I also know that I'm going to do it no matter what, right? Like I know that, and that actually gives me a lot of confidence. Like when I know that I'm the kind of person that does things that I'm scared. That was such a bad sentence. Anyway, like I know, and that's really the definition of confidence, right? It's like people who are willing to, or courageous, right? Like it's people who are willing to feel any emotion, including fear, and doing it anyway. So like that gives me some solace. But anyway, like, yeah, I knew I was going to do it no matter what, but still I am nervous. And then last night I was not doing so well with that nervousness. I didn't feel my feelings like I preach, I guess, like what I tell people to do, or not tell, I teach people to do, that like, you know, these feelings aren't going to kill us. They're just negative emotion. They're just vibrations in our body. But when we're totally intolerant to it, then we try to make ourselves feel better in any way possible. And for me, I went down these ridiculous rabbit holes of YouTube drama. And it was exhausting, okay? Like, that was what exhausted me, not all the work I've been doing. Every time I've been, like, totally on my game when it comes to procrastination, like, I just go for it, I don't feel exhausted at the end. I feel tired, but it feels like a very different, like, proud tired. This was not a proud tired. This was an exhausting and debilitating and just dirty tired. And it did not feel good. And I have never, ever, ever personally felt good after binging on something like that. Like anytime I binge, it is not great. Like, and other people have different ways of binging, right? Some people binge on Oreos, some people binge on alcohol, some people binge on video games. Some people binge on TV shows. Last night, my weapon of choice was YouTube drama videos. Okay, so I totally know that now. Like, I knew this sort of, but I have this experience now in my back pocket. Like, I really understand how much it doesn't feel good. I don't feel good after watching those kind of videos. There's totally nothing wrong with it in itself, okay? Like, anybody who enjoys it and gets a lot out of it, cool, good for you. For me, no. I don't get much out of it. I don't feel good. I don't actually care. I think I could have used it in a much better way, that free time that I had. I could have read a book. I could have done my nails. I could have, I don't know, I could have taken a walk, like something that I think would have been actually self-caring and like restful, right? Like, anyway. So today, yes, it would be so much freaking easier to keep watching YouTube videos like that, right? It requires zero effort for me to keep watching those videos. That is what I could do. And all this nervousness that I'm feeling, it's all coming from thoughts like, you're gonna fuck this up somehow, or you might fail horribly. And my brain is telling me this, not because it's mean to me on purpose, not because it's actually trying to hurt me. It's saying things like, hey, you can just quit, right? Like, we can just watch YouTube videos. We're not going to die. Like, because it literally thinks that if we fail, we're going to die. That is really what it thinks is going to happen. It's equating failure with like being eaten by a lion, or like a lion, like a predator, right? Again, our 2 million old survival brain hasn't really evolved. We just got this prefrontal cortex put right on top of it. Like, it didn't really, like, we didn't get a new brain. It's like we just got another brain right on top, which is our higher brain, our prefrontal cortex. So anyway, yeah, like, my brain just wants to protect me because it wants me to quit, right? Because it thinks that we're going to survive this way, that we're not going to die. But luckily, I already know that, I'm going to do it. There's no point in not doing it. However, I am exhausting myself in the process. I am just creating unnecessary nervousness and not doing good for my body. So, but like, if over Facebooking, if over gaming, over eating, over drinking, over YouTube dramaing, or anything else that we use to make ourselves feel better and avoid our dreams or do anything that's just uncomfortable, if none of those things had any consequences, then there really wouldn't be a problem, right? Like, this wouldn't be an issue in our world. But there is a problem to all of these, right? Like, we are always left with an intense feeling of disappointment, or there's another net negative consequence overall, like a hangover or gaining weight, or just the fact that, like, we are completely not honoring our dreams and our commitments. And that is essentially how we totally deteriorate our relationship with ourselves. It's kind of a chicken and egg situation. Like, we think we do these things because we don't like ourselves. But really, it's because we don't like ourselves that we do these things. And then it becomes this continuous loop. So, like, and then we don't do anything, but funnily enough, we don't like ourselves. And then we don't put any effort, or we don't do anything to actually like ourselves more, right? So what we need to do is cut that loop off. And the way we cut that loop off is that we realize that our thoughts are optional, our beliefs are optional, and we do mind work around those beliefs. We learn to create new beliefs, that we are somebody that's likable, that we do like ourselves, things like that. But anyway, essentially, right, what I'm seeing here essentially is that, yes, it requires no effort to do all these things, but we get all these negative consequences. So essentially, it is totally uncomfortable to give zero effort. It's familiar, and it may be like there's comfort associated with it, but overall, it's completely uncomfortable to give zero effort. So today, I am not going to watch another drama video. I'm not. I'm going to sit with whatever emotion I have. I'm going to feel that urge to want to distract my brain with these drama videos. But instead, I am going to allow the urge. And, we might not be able to do much about the urge that we feel, right? But urges don't have to be complied with. Like we get to decide whether we fulfill that urge. The urge is totally allowed to be there. So it's like, imagine like a toddler screaming for candy, right? Like if you give it candy, it's going to learn that it can scream like a maniac and you will give it candy. But if you just allow it to scream its head off and never give it candy, they will eventually stop screaming. So allowing an urge and sitting with our feelings, it requires a lot of effort. It does. And then thinking new thoughts as well, like practicing new thoughts. And for me, it's like thinking new thoughts like, okay, you might fuck this up. And that's okay. Or maybe even, and some days I really feel good about this. It's like, you're going to do awesome and you're going to help a lot of people. Thinking these things requires effort, right? It's super uncomfortable to put effort in something. But so was not any effort, right? So was no effort at all. But this effort towards myself actually makes me like myself. It improves my relationship with myself. So it's like they're both uncomfortable, right? No effort and a lot of effort. They're both uncomfortable, except the other one gives me a result that I really, really want. Like I really, really value my relationship with myself. So my coach teacher, she says that discomfort is the currency to our dreams. And that is so freaking true. Like the more willing we are to pay with discomfort for ourselves, that's really what we're doing overall in our life. We're not paying with anything but discomfort. The more that we like ourselves. Like it took effort, right, to learn to drive a car, but eventually it became automatic, just like all skills. So I totally have faith that if I keep at it, believing in myself will eventually become automatic and not so awkward. So like if every day I told my brain what to think, I do my thought downloads and models, I write 10 things I'm grateful for, I look at my goals and I visualize them as if they're already achieved, how could it not? How could it not eventually become this automatic thing? So I really think that that's the reason why I've made so much improvement in my brain is because I just totally see it as a skill. And I have complete belief and faith that if I keep at it, I'm going to eventually get there, right? Like I'm eventually going to have a mind that really believes in myself. And then last night, me kind of, falling off the wagon or like doing something that I didn't like, I'm not going to make that mean anything about my progress in the future. Like if we, when I was learning to drive, I made some mistakes, right? Like there was some rule that I didn't really understand, like turning left on a green, like I was supposed to wait for a car, right? They had the right of way to go forward, but I went anyway, and that car had to slow down when I was turning left. And I didn't make that mean that I was never going to be able to drive a car. Like that mistake, I wasn't going to make it mean that I was never ever going to be able to drive a car totally naturally and it was going to be like second nature. So last night, that was just like part of the process. That was just part of the awkward stage where it's not natural yet. I kind of, had thoughts that I didn't like, didn't sit with my feelings, but I'm not going to make it mean that I'm never going to change. In fact, if anything, the fact that I'm like looking back on it and I'm studying it and I'm understanding what went wrong, I'm using that as evidence I'm using that as evidence that I'm definitely going to change because I'm no longer just on autopilot. Every time I learn more about mind management, every book I read, all of that, I'm making that mean that I am on the way to believing in myself fully. So, but it's pretty awkward and it's weird and it takes a lot of effort right now, and it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be weird. Like, I get a lot of people saying things like, in the moment, like, I understand all of this stuff. I understand learning new thoughts, or like feeling my feelings, all that kind of stuff, but I can't seem to do it in the moment. And I'm like, yeah, you're not supposed to be a new person tomorrow. Like, it takes effort, right? It takes practice. This is not supposed to be effortless. Like, knowledge does nothing for you until it's applied. Like, knowledge in itself is not what makes us change. It's applied knowledge. It's like taking the knowledge and then putting it into practice. And it's gonna take time, just like any other skill. So don't make anything in the past about change mean anything. And also look at how in the past you have changed, right? Like, not everyone has done something, even if it's not a positive change, but the fact that there was change means that it's possible. So guys, I'm pumped for my procrastination challenge. I know I'm going to do it, and I know I'm going to drop some fucking knowledge that's going to be so amazing, and I just know it's going to help a lot of people. These thoughts that I have about myself are, just leftover thoughts that my brain is just really, really good at thinking. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful. I hope you can look into your recent past of like how putting zero effort was actually just as uncomfortable, and that it's like we're just trading discomfort, and it's like might as well go for the discomfort that gets you what you want. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that you've been listening to me for, how long has it been? 26 minutes. And follow me on Instagram and vote about the things that I'm going to do. I think that's really exciting. I can't wait to reveal like what my itinerary is. I think it's going to be so fun. Okay, I'm excited. I am excited now. Nervous a little bit, but that's okay. Thanks so much for listening, guys. If you want to get some deep, personalized mindset work done, DM me on Instagram or book a free coaching call in the link in the description. You get to relax and get things off your chest in a safe, judgment-free zone. I promise I'm super nice and friendly. If you like my work, you can follow me on Instagram at Katie Illustrates. And if you like success mindset and confidence inspiration, you can follow me at my coaching Instagram at katyarrington. Have a badass day today, make yourself proud, and I'll talk to you next week.